Hello and welcome to today's episode on Rendezvous on Global TV. I am Sharon Ajay and today we'll be talking on social vices. I have with me a beautiful lady who will be exploring the different angles of social vices. I'll be introducing her to you after this short break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Rendezvous. Like I said, I'll be introducing you to a beautiful lady with me in the studio. How are you doing, Chidima?
Hi, Sharon. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. We are glad and super glad to have you on today's show. So we are diving right into social vices. So social vices are bad traits, unhealthy and negative behaviors which are against the morality of the society, and their behaviors that society frown at, by members of the society. Their actions that can cause harm to the individual and the society. They are social problems that have been taught as social situations that a large number of observers feel is inappropriate. Social vices. Just like I said earlier, there are vices that the society sees as inappropriate, the society sees as sees as not good, not acceptable, and not moral at all. Take a casual look at our Nigerian universities these days. You realize that there are so many social vices. It has become the order of the day. Chief among these are twin evils of cultism and indecent dressing. Those are the top social vices that we see in Nigeria, in Africa, in Nigeria, especially indecent dressing and cultism, among others. Interestingly, these vices are commoners among the male and females, respectively. What probably began as a pacification to desires for companionship, protection and security, an innocent imitation of Westerners, has grown to bedevil sanity and progress on our universities today. It is rare to find a school or an institution void of social vices. This depicts that they are present in all educational centers, primary, secondary and tertiary institutions. Some common social vices, common among we Nigerians, we have cultism, indecent dressing, stealing, drug abuse, premarital sexual activities, examination malpractice, thuggery, smoking, rape, alcoholism, hooliganism, and the host of others. Ms. Chidima, I want to ask, because social vices is something that it's been there. Right. It has always been there. It's something that you can't take it off of, especially universities, university students. So I want to know, do you think the causes of social vices are due to, bad parenting, or?
Well, okay, I think yes. Bad parenting is a factor when you're looking at social vices, but it's just one factor compared to other factors, which you also have to take a look at. You know how they would say it takes a village to train a child. So it's not just the parents, but there are other things, other factors that that children pick from, that eventually becomes a part of them. Well, we'll start from the family. The family is always the first point. The family is the first point of contact, the first point of education, the first point of everything for a child. So however a child is brought up at home would determine how the child would behave outside. So if the background, which is the family, which is the first unit, has not been able to do their part in bringing up a child, eventually the child takes that bad character outside and, you know, spreads it out.
Okay.
So that's where you know, we hear says like, I mean, the charity begins at home, right? So wherever you're doing, good or bad, it always starts from your house. So it's important for parents, it's important for our families to train like a child in the way he or she should go.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Because, exactly. So I think, of course, absolutely, the family is a factor. The family contributes to social vices, but then it's not just the only factor that would also have to look at.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, still on parenting, right? We know that it's just one of the factors, and can we classify it under like one of the main factors?
Of course.
And I still want to know, like, you know, how can a parent also, or rather, how can parenting contribute to social vices? Because regardless of the fact that we cannot say they are the main,
the only
factor, rather, we can still say they play a part.
A major part
in social vices in children.
Yes, like we said, parenting, the family plays a major part in bringing up a child. Right, and you ask, okay, how can a parent? Well, you as a parent, there should be laid down rules and regulations in your family. In a family, I would say we've experienced in a lot of Nigerian families where we see children are not disciplined. We have families that there's no inbound, you know, no thorough discipline of children. And when your children are not disciplined in the right way, it means you are leading those children astray. It means eventually that child will pick up, you know, things they are not supposed to pick up along the way. So it is important as a parent to first of all, because I mean, you can't give what you don't have, right? And these things, it's a circle. Our parents grew up in that same way, so it's what they have, they would be able to give out. If they don't have that thorough upbringing, they would not be able to give it out to their children. They would not be able to give their children thorough upbringing. So it's important as parents, you should know, you should read up, right? You should know the things that would benefit your child in the long run. You should be able to teach your child in this, because sometimes some parents, I see some parents, they want to put everything on the school. They feel like, oh, because I've paid this amount of school fees, I'm just going to, they should solve my problems for me. If I can't control my child at home, then the school should be able to control my child. I've seen cases like that where some parents are very nonchalant to the discipline and upbringing of their children. So they allow their children act and how they allow their children misbehave. Then they take the children to school and, you know, expect the school to probably perform some kind of magic on their children, right? So if you as a parent, you are not able to inculcate into your child the proper upbringing, I wonder who else will do it for you, right? So like we said, the family is the first point of contact. The family is the first, you know, has to, whatever you give your child, that's what they're going to take out in the long run.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So let's do like a story time, because I know that definitely you must have, you know, experienced, you know, the effect of social vices, either, you know, courtesy, indecent dressing, whatever. So I want you to tell us, I don't know, any of your experiences, like like the effect of it. You can actually start from, you know, the beginning of when it happened, then the effect.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say I have experienced firsthand social vices, but you know, I went to the university, right? So I have seen these things play out. I've heard stories, we've experienced, you know, and like we said, these things are very common in the universities. And mind you, yes, after the family, the other places, the next place, the next area we need to look at in, you know, in ensuring a child has a proper upbringing is the school, whether your primary school or your secondary school or your university. And it's sad to think that these things actually start from even your primary school. You might think, oh, it's only when they've grown up, they're in the universities, that these social vices start. I mean, bullying is part of social vices. And we see little children who are not up to 10 years bullying their peers, right? So, and you know, I'm not, we've talked about this family thing. So like I said, it's always a major factor.
Yeah.
But then the school system should be able to, guide these children. You should be able to, build these children in the right way by coming up with, rules and regulations, systems, that would enable the student grow in the right path and in the right journey. So of course, in your primary schools, we have, cases of social vices, even in up to your secondary school, and even in the tertiary university, where it's like the home of, all kinds of social vices. We see a lot of cultism. You see young guys and young girls, only guys, only men smoke. If you go to universities these days, you see young girls smoking, right? And you're like, how have we gotten, how did we get here, right? How has these things become a norm in our society these days, where we see, things that used to be discriminatory, things that used to be frowned upon, now becoming a norm in the society.
Exactly.
You see smoking, you see indecent dressing is a normal thing in our society.
Like
We're not even going to bring that up, right?
Yes.
There, different kinds of activities that, that are always that should be frowned on. We see them, playing out in our societies. So yes, I have definitely seen these things, but personally,
okay, you've not like it. So I'm thinking about something, or rather, it's actually very glaring. In as much as people know the effects of most of these social vices, I've come to realize that students, especially those in the university, they don't care. They just feel like, and it has effect, but it can't befall me. I don't know if you understand that kind of mentality, and I'm just like in shocked, or I'm just surprised how someone would choose to, okay, let's pick cultism, like it's the main social vices on campus. How someone would choose to, join a cult, knowing that this is the effect when you are caught, or this is the effect when you have a misunderstanding with another of your rivalry or something. Sure, and I just don't understand why people think that way. I don't know, is it their mentality or their ideology or what?
Of course, there's the issue of mentality.
Okay.
And when we're talking about social vices, somehow we also need to talk about the causes. What prompts? What's generates? What prompts these things? Why do people engage in this kind of activities? Why do people feel like, oh, okay, I need to engage in cultism, to be able to feel better about myself, or to be able to feel fulfilled? There's a reason, and I think some of the reasons are peer pressure, right? We see a lot of peer pressure in our society, and also I think there's the issue of ignorance. A lot of African families, or a lot of African youths are ignorant to a lot of issues. So they go into these activities ignorantly, without, thinking through about these things. This thing I'm doing, is it right? What's the repercussion of what I'm doing? This, they don't think deep about these things. And of course, there's also the issue of peer pressure, like I said earlier, because I want to belong. Right? Okay, my friend is doing this, or these people. If you don't partake in this particular activity, nobody's going to talk to you, or you don't feel like you belong in a particular class, right? So people are pressured into some of these activities, especially cultism. In universities, one of the major reasons where you find people engaging in cultism is peer pressure. Right? They feel peer pressured. They feel not good enough. So you somehow think that when I engage in this, people are going to respect me more. You want to feel respected. You want to have some form of power, right? So there's the issue of peer pressure. There's the issue of indiscipline, right? It's just a whole lot.
Some will even tell you that they want to take revenge, maybe because they've been bullied in their secondary school or bullied somewhere else, and now they want people to know that, okay, I am now in the university, I now have power.
You now want to start bullying people.
I feel some is even self-esteem. Like you said, you just mentioned, they feel so low of themselves, and they feel like, okay, if I'm in a place where if people see me, they run, or people see me, they hide, it gives me this kind of leverage of, I'm high, I'm and all of that. All right, so there is a little that a parent can do. There's little that a child can do. There's also little that the school in a whole can do. So I want to know, is there, because I don't know, probably there are, I know there are few NGOs that are into this, you know, going around schools and educating them about social vices and the negative parts of it, the effect of it, and all of that. But do you think, you know, the society raising awareness and, you know, raise campaigns and all of that, do you think it can help to reduce social vices?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. I think we need to do more awareness. We need to engage people, youths, more about, you know, these vices and the effects, the repercussion on you, because it's always, at the end of the day, it's always regrettable, right? Because at first you feel that excitement, that enthusiasm about, you know, being young, or because I'm young, I can do whatever I want. Yes, you know, there's the excitement at the beginning, but what is the end game of, you know, these activities? How do you end up, you know, when you get involved in these activities? So yes, I think, of course, we need to raise more awareness. I think our families too need to do more. Our schools need to do more, right? We need to be, there's a need for proper education of, okay, these things, how it's not just harms you, but harms people around you and the society at large. It harms your family as well. And, you know, people need to have that awareness.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, I hope we're enjoying the discussion and we are having lots of ideas and insights, and we are being educated on social vices and its effects. We're going on a short break now. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we are coming with more messages. Welcome back to Rendezvous. Chidima was telling us before we went on a break how, you know, campaigns and, you know, the society, you know, campaigns and awareness can help to, you know, reduce social vices and all of that. So I want to throw another question to you before we went on a break. You know, indecent dressing has been one of the, it feels like it cannot be eradicated, especially with females. Let's even leave the guys out of it, because at, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, you can say 2 of them can be just local and want to do whatever they want to do, but you rarely see that. But when it comes to girls, my goodness, they are, it's as if that is what makes them female, because I don't really get that idea. And it feels like, if you are talking about any kind of social vice, whatever, cultism, blah blah, they feel like indecent dressing is not part of it. Even if you list it among it, they will just, they don't just understand why it is there, because to them they feel my body, my choice, my dressing, my choice. So nobody has whatever right to, you know. And I feel like, especially in Africa, they feel like because the Western world allows their people to do whatever they need to do, or dress whatever way they want to dress, they feel like it should also be, you know, the same with us. Forgetting and, you know, discarding the fact that we are very cultural oriented and all of that. We are not like the Western world. So in a case like this, because definitely we can't erase indecent dressing when it comes to social vices, it is definitely among you know, social vices and all of that. So you know, what can you say about that actually?
Okay, well, I think proper education and proper upbringing, you know, is very important. Women, young people, especially women, need to be taught on how to appreciate themselves, appreciate their bodies, to be able to understand that you don't necessarily need to expose your body to feel pretty or to feel beautiful.
Definitely.
You should be able to appreciate yourself. You know, you have to be confident in yourself as a woman, because, you know, some people somehow think that, okay, by exposing themselves, they get compliments from people, and that way they somehow feel good about themselves. They need other people's validation to be able to appreciate themselves. We need to be taught self-love, right? I think that's one thing that we lack in African upbringing, African families, where we grew up in a generation where it's very difficult to see your parents saying, "Oh, I love you," or we were not really
expressing affection.
We were not really taught that self-love. Everything was just straight, rigid, uptight, rigid. We grew up in a very rigid family. We had that a kind of upbringing. So people have not really, people did not really learn to love themselves and appreciate themselves and be confident in themselves. So they somehow rely on other people to compliment them or to make them feel, loved, to be able to appreciate themselves. So sometimes they want to do things to impress other people. So these people would, in turn, make them feel good enough or loved enough or beautiful enough. I think that is that is one of the issues. Young people should be taught to love themselves. Right? So if I love myself, then I although when you compliment me, I'm going to accept it, but I do not need your validation to feel good about myself, to know if I'm beautiful or not. Right? So when your compliment comes, it's extra, right? It just comes as an extra compliment, because I've already complimented myself before. I've already told myself I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm this, I'm that, right? So young people need that proper education, that proper upbringing. We need to start feeling confident in ourselves. We need to start understanding that we need to take ourselves out from peer pressure. Right? We need to understand that, okay, because some set of people are doing this doesn't mean I have to do this to look good about myself or to feel good about myself. I don't necessarily need that. Self-esteem, and that still boils down to self-love and self-appreciation. You have to be confident. You have to have good. You have to have self-esteem. You have to be able to know yourself and be aware of who you are. I don't necessarily need to dress in a particular way for me to feel beautiful, right? I can still be well and fully clothed to also feel and look beautiful. Definitely. So I think proper education is very important, and to be taught self-love and self-appreciation is also key.
Thank you very, very much. Social vices needs to be curbed. Youth that engage in these dangerous acts need help. Need help, advice, and rehabilitation for the addicted ones, like those that are into drugs and all of that. We need to help them by with rehabilitation and all of that. Parents also need to know that their children's friends' status. They need to know about their children's friends. That you don't just leave your child to have any friend, any kind of friend. You don't care about the child. You don't care about his friends and whatever. And their academic performance also. It is not enough to know your child's friends that you feel, okay, because my child friend is intelligent and all of that, then definitely his academic performance also will be great, and you don't care to check and all of that. That is totally wrong. These are majorly the roles of our mothers. So mothers, we need to stand up and play our role properly. It is not enough to just say, I better this child, then I'm a mother, and you go around calling yourself a mother. There are lots of efforts, there are a lot of effort you need to put to be a good mother and to be able to raise good children. Mothers should be close to their children, close monitoring, and time should be given to children by parents. Children should be taught the moral values and the word of God. This might help, as a solution. Another solution is that the government should organize forums that would enlighten students about the dangers associated with social vices. Police must be active and be on alert. Schools should have a high level of discipline. Any student seen as a threat to others should be cautioned and rehabilitated. All hands must be on deck to combat the social menace common among students. Thank you once again, Chidima, for joining us on today's show. I love how much insight, and I love how you educated us on this aspect. We really appreciate you. Thank you also for joining us on today's episode on Rendezvous on Global TV. I hope you gained some new insights, and remember, you are always welcome to tune in again and again anytime. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Sharon Ajay. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.